Hey, Mercedes looking bad out here. I mean, Mercedes is looking bad out here. What's going on? It is 1:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your dude, Jay from Wolfpack Performance, home of the F1 Minute, the live talk show that involves you in content creation. And right now, we're on finale lap, just off the back of the Australian GP, managing to put an exclamation mark on the end of the race. DG, Big Blue, Big Navy, hoorah. What's up? Man, let me tell you, Russell literally, I mean, that corner has claimed a lot of drivers' races, okay? Russell flipping the car on his side, or pitching the corner on his side, because it didn't flip over completely. You had Albon last season go through the rocks and just go into the wall, put rocks all over the track. I think that's the same turn you might have had Carlos's incident with Alonso, which wasn't as bad, and Carlos somehow gets penalized when we also had coming out of that corner, we had Gasly and Ocon just completely demolish each other's races. You had Nick DeVries, Logan Sargent running up the back of him. That area and that track is just highly competitive in its own right. So it's just, hey, I don't know what y'all expect. The mechanic Mercedes, bro. Matter of fact, I forgot, bro. Let me put this up. You see it right there. Mercedes win counter is 0 still. Mercedes mechanic, good morning to you, sir. As bad as this may sound, I saw Russell crash coming. Bro, you did? How did you see that shit coming? Was it because of his angle into that whole section? Because that's crazy, man. Like at the very last portion of the race, Russell takes Mercedes out from even getting any points. And we're going to get to Mercedes later. All right? Let's just take a look at this right now, and let's talk about some other things first. Let's look at this as Yuki. We don't even want to get to Yuki yet. Let's go ahead and talk about Alpine. Gasly and Ocon again, sunk to the back, the rear of the grid, out of points, completely out of points. Alpine is proving to be plagued with problems I don't think they're going to be able to solve. Okay, they got rid of Otmar. Shit hasn't changed. It's continuously went downhill. They got rid of Rossi. Shit hasn't changed. It's continuously went downhill. You are right now showing that even though you've made these decisions, maybe Otmar wasn't what you needed to fire. Maybe he wasn't, because he's gone and you're still doing bad. Okay, Rossi, even with his very high, passionate comments, maybe he wasn't the worst thing for Alpine. Alpine is a bad team right now. They used to be best of the rest. Now they ain't shit. They ain't shit right now. The mechanic says, remember when he crashed chasing Alonso, Max, and Gold last year? Yo, bro, that is indeed a fact. Matter of fact, Singapore. Remember when he was in Singapore or was it Vegas? He clips it and runs it right into the wall, going for, what did it say? Going for the gap. So it might have been Singapore. But yeah, bro, this might be something that we see from Russell that might be just part of it. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When Carlos gets excited and he starts doing all his, I don't know, singing on the radio, it just sounds really weird. It sounds really weird. It sounds really weird. I'm just gonna say that. It sounds really weird when Carlos be doing all this singing and shit on the radio. But yeah, mechanic would say, yeah, you're right about that. I'm going to mention something else that happened 2022 that happened now. 083, good morning to you, bro. We popping early. It is good morning to me at 1:30 in the morning. But yeah, Alpine, man, is just, I mean, they look bad. And then let's talk about right here, as you see, Kick Sauber Steak F1 is not kicking shit, okay? They're not kicking a damn thing. They not even steak. Steak, I go to a restaurant, okay? When I go to a restaurant, especially a nice restaurant, let's say like Marcel's, let's say like the Steak Market, even if it's McCormick's, any one of those, Ruth Chris, any Chops. When I go to a steak restaurant, I'm expecting that I'm going to have a good outing, a good dinner, a good time dining out. Why? Because I'm going to order a steak that I know I'm going to enjoy, like filet mignon. Maybe I might get the tomahawk. I rarely get the ribeye, you know, as fatty as it is and as tasteful as it is. I just really like the taste and the cut of a filet. There ain't nothing good about steak F1 right now. They could put Drake all over their commercials. They could put Drake all over their intros, and it still won't be good. You want to know why? Because Drake right now is about to get his ass kicked by Kendrick Lamar, and so is J. Cole. I know got bars, but let me tell you something. Kendrick Lamar is a totally different beast. All right, Drake, you need to slow up. You got your ass kicked by Pusha T. You really got your ass kicked by Meek Mills. Now you about to get your ass kicked by Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole, Drake, pump the brakes. Maybe go help kick Stake 1 F1 Sauber. Mechanic Mercedes says he crashed in Australia and Las Vegas last year. That's what it was. It was Vegas. Indeed, bro. He has. He definitely has. And so now we talking about a team that is supposed to be getting ready for entry of, Maria, Duncan, Galactus. What are y'all doing up this early morning? Matter of fact, Maria, this might work good for you because you're 3 hours behind, so it might have worked good for you. Galactus says McLaren doing great so far. Merc, time to sit down. Matter of fact, there's a song, Sit Down. I'm telling you, you should check it out. Very South song. Maria Duncan says, hi, Jay. Happy for Carlos. Max and Russell had karma coming for them today. Lewis Hamilton may be a victim of sabotage. His car is ridiculously bad. I got to say, Lewis Hamilton, did you hear that shit? It was like so abrupt. It was so abrupt. It was literally like, ka-chung, done. It was so abrupt. I don't know what they got going on. They already got Lewis running experiments, Maria. They got Lewis out here with a car that's suspect. I don't even think Mercedes outside of that trying to seem as Lewis Hamilton is the second driver and Russell's the number one. I don't think they could do shit because even if they gave Russell something to do something with, he'd burn it up. If Russell was your chef, when your entree came to the table, it's completely charred. He might even have dropped the shit on the floor and try to put it back on your plate. Let Russ cook is not only in football. They let Russ cook in Formula One, and Russ is burning up the fucking kitchen. Now, this is your chef. This is your supposed 5-star Michelin chef that's supposed to be cooking for your 5-star restaurant, Diamond Restaurant, next season. Let Russ cook means you letting Russ burn the fucking kitchen down. He burned it down today. He burned it down in Vegas. He burned it down in Singapore. He burned the kitchen down. Australia, you burning it down, okay? He's messing it all up. So I'm with you on that, Maria Duncan. Mercedes says, Canada, sorry. Man, bro, listen. It is just ridiculously crazy what he got going on. Janet, good morning, fam. What's going on with you? Jesse James Bell. What's up, Mr. Start? What happened to Max? Yo, Max, Red Bull, bro. Red Bull finally ran into reliability issues, but I think it was something off track. But so it's not really a reliability issue. Basically, the brakes exploded. It was out of there. And he wasn't the only person having situations today with the brakes. I forgot what other driver was radioing about something with the brakes. But, yeah, somebody else had some issue with the brakes. And I think it was a tear-off that might have got caught in a brake duct. And, you know, once those brakes overheat, the carbon in there, it just completely explodes on itself. So, yeah, Stake F1, they just let me clear my throat when I say this. They suck. They absolutely suck. That is what Stake F1 Sauber is doing. All right. Now, can we tend to some other business? Can we talk about something for a second? Just for a brief second. I would just like to say that we're going to save Mercedes for last. I'm just going to say this. What are you thinking? Danny Rick, I'm talking to you. Danny Rick, I'm talking to you. What are you thinking? What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you trying to go there with? What seat in Formula One do you think you're going to get other than a RB, junior varsity team of Red Bull? What are you people doing by continuously still disrespecting Yuki Suki, Tsunoda? Mary Beanie Princess bottles it again and Maxi Pad for 80-21. That is what's going on. That is what's going on. But Danny Rick, outside of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton retiring in that early part of the session hadn't made a progress for a damn thing. Danny Rick was catfishing and staying his ass at the bottom, manages to finish 12th. Yuki, salute, and matter of fact, let me say this. Yuki Suki. Yuki bringing home the groceries again. If it was for Ricciardo, AlphaTauri, now known as Red Bull, RB Team, Junior Varsity, all that good shit that means it's just another Red Bull car. If it were for just Danny Rick, Red Bull, RB would be starving their ass off. Danny Rick is doing nothing. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. It's nothing. Yuki deserves his respect. Yuki finishing in 8th. Those are good points in perspective of what that team has been doing. Those are awesome points for Yuki in perspective for what he's been doing. Danny Rick isn't doing cockadoodle shit. Nothing. Look at him. Look at him. And all of this talk about he feel like it's his time? Time for what? Time for what, bro? You looking bad out here, Danny Rick. You looking like you might have still should have just been making commercials. You looking like you still should have just kept your representative position, show up to the paddock, show up to the club, do your talk, have some laughs, walk around in some crazy boots, ride in on a horse, dance around a Yeti cooler, do all the funny shit for Red Bull. Because this is looking like clown shit, man. See, there comes a time when people feel like they need to leave a sport when they feel it, not when you feel, not when you want to prematurely tell drivers to get out. When a driver comes to the point, like Seb, I said it was coming and it came, okay? When drivers come to the point where they say, yo, I think I'm done. When they say that, it's real. Danny Rick said that. Danny Rick said he was going to leave, rent a Spezda, drive from California to New York and just enjoy American culture, sit back and relax, go to his farm and get in a tractor, and then something happened. His ass started itching. And instead of just, looking around casually, instead of Danny Rick saying, okay, nobody's looking and just doing a casual seat scooch, scratch your butt that way, Danny Rick takes his hand, puts it up, puts a handful inside his pants, not on the outside of his pants, and he scratches his ass and he says, I think I'm coming back. I think I need to come back to Formula One. No, you should have stayed gone. You should have stayed gone from Formula One. You should not have came back to Formula One, bro. Because all of this talk about what you claim to be trying to do, about you saying that I am coming back to take my position at Red Bull, it's absolutely just not true. You don't seem like you can do it at all. Red Bull is not putting you in an RB20, RB21, RB22.5, whatever the fuck they make next. Danny Rick, they not putting you in it with this type of performance. And you can't be telling yourself that you're doing good. Galactus says Yuki is cooking Danny. Carlos trying to show up. Carlos, bro. Matter of fact, let's get to it. Carlos! I'm calling him out. Carlos the plug. Carlos ain't trying to do shit. And in Juice, Galactus, in Juice, I ain't trying to tell you shit. I tell your mama you ain't shit. Carlos ain't trying to do shit. He doing that shit. Carlos is doing it, bro. I said it during quali. This is Carlos's statement season. And I was wondering if he was going to do that or do something else. Carlos is showing up and saying, you know what? Boss mode. I'm doing what I need to do to show anybody who is considering that they need a driver in a top team to take them to the promised land. I'm your guy. I'm the one that's going to help you do it. Why? Because Ferrari decided Lewis Hamilton was coming here. And I understand that. Dude, the GOAT. I understand that. But you told me that Charles Leclerc is your future. And you said, bye-bye, Carlos. Carlos said, you know what? Why you still giving me the opportunity to be with the second fastest team on the grid, which right now, I don't know, things could shift. But with what happened, can't completely say that. DG Big Blue says Danny Rick is not going to Red Bull Racing or any other team for that matter. Also, now George Russell crash is under investigation. Mercedes is saying that he was brake tested. Oh, Mercedes, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, look into it. But maybe don't do that. Maybe don't try to look into it. Go ahead. Do what you got to do, Mercedes. Do what you got to do. It's not going to change shit. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. You're doing horrible, but we'll get into that. Mary Beanie says McLaren should have let Pio run his race. That's the next topic of matter for me to get into. Galactus says Russell cracking under pressure again and again. He is. He might have the same situation or problem Perez got. Pressure mounts and he falls off. Speaking of Perez, have you seen him? Have you seen him? Tell me, have you seen him? Seen him? What the Perez? Where the you at? Fifth? Perez, bro. And any time that Max Verstappen's not on track, we should feel at least somewhat confident that Red Bull Racing is going to say, listen, I know typically we don't want this dude to win. We want Max to get it all, but Max is not there. And if Max is not there, by the way, we got a VIP member that we're going to salute today. If Max is not there, we need to get these points. We need to get it in the bag. Perez, bro, fifth is not acceptable in an RB20. In an RB20 minus Max on track means that you will have the full vote and confidence of Red Bull, which I understand is fodder and it's conditional, but it's still real. When Max is not on track, they got to believe in you. They got to try to do something. They don't want to lose points as a team, knowing they're not going to collect as many points as they can if Max is gone, so they're going to go with you. Perez, bro, you dropping the bag. You're dropping the bag. What are other teams going to say? Outside of trying to say maybe the team just screwed him off, what are other teams going to say? Dude was in the fastest car, probably the most dominant car in Formula One history, and when the number one dude wasn't on track, he couldn't produce. Who needs that type of help? Alpine, RB, you might get demoted, Haas, and Williams. Those are like your four next destinations. If nothing else comes up out of this, those are your four next destinations. I'm just saying. What's up, Tachamane? Appreciate you. Third time showing up on a super chat. Watching Merck being delusional and thinking they can get Max to replace Lewis next year after performing like this is actually the most hilarious thing ever. So embarrassing. No excuses at all. Yo, you right. You right. It is embarrassing. There are no excuses. And they are damn near delusional. Toto delusional. Look at it. Look at it. Russell took him out the race at the end. And for Toto to even play around with the whole thing of you never know what can happen, you know what? You sound stupid. You sound stupid right now. You sound like I told y'all, he sounded like a scorned lover. When Toto started doing that, when Lewis announced he was leaving, Toto right there was like, oh, he done broke my heart. You know, Fred Sanford, it's the big one. It's the big one. That's how he was. Lewis said he was leaving. It was like a big breakup. He didn't know how to take it. No, you can't go with Lewis. We got a non-poaching agreement. Man, come on. It's a race engineer, bro. He been with Lewis forever. Y'all being real petty. Being real petty. Also, let's take a look at this. Let's go down and talk about McLaren. Let's talk about McLaren. I'm really, Mary Beanie, I'm with you. I'm really disappointed in McLaren, for real. First of all, if we look at the timesheets right here, I'm just saying, we are actually in a position to let Piastri get this race. It's still the same for the team because they came in 3-4. I understand it's not a podium for Lando, and Lando's the number one driver. But what I also understand is that this is Piastri's home race, and it's not like he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. McLaren, y'all should let your boy get his home race. Just saying. You call team orders that late in the race. I don't see anybody else really catching Piastri. Perez was not doing what the hell he could have been doing, and his best lap time definitely wasn't close to Pia's best. And I still think that the McLaren would have been able to hold Perez off given what Perez's performance was. I really don't think that you all should have switched that, giving Lando the win, giving Lando third, not the win, but third last step on the podium. I think you should have let Pia get that for real. But, you know, it's your team. You call it. I'm not saying that fundamentally it was the wrong decision. Fundamentally, maybe it was the correct decision on tire strategy and all this other shit. But for integrity and camaraderie and morale in the team, I mean, Pia could have just went ahead and got that. DJ Big Blue says 11. It's not the car, it's the driver. Hey, bro, I told you I'm not making any more excuses for Perez. Perez showed me something about himself when he didn't fight for himself. It's over. Mary Beanie says, what brake test did come on Toto? Princess has never been able to handle pressure. Period. I'm so glad I divorced Mercedes. Merc clutching at straws 2025. Merc is about to be hurting unless something miraculously happens, because it's even rumored out there that Ferrari has engaged in conversations. And at this point in time, I can't blame anybody that hears a rumor and then actually puts a little bit of more stock into it, because we heard these rumors about Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari last season. I was like, hell no. And what I also said is, if Lewis Hamilton goes to Ferrari, he will be doing more for Ferrari than Ferrari will be doing for him. At this point in time, the way Ferrari is competing, Ferrari has now proven to me that they might have equal partnership in this move. And Lewis, you're going to bring your portion. We have now shown you that we are going to bring a portion, and we're going to go win this shit. We right now have two drivers, minus the number one driver, Max Verstappen, which if that was the case, it would have been, I still think Sainz would have got first. I still think Sainz likely would have been able to probably edge Max out on a street circuit and get first. But Sainz, and then it would have been Max and then Charles. So still Ferrari occupied 2 out of 3 steps, and that for Lewis Hamilton could be indeed something that might be productive next season. But we're in this season. So let's see what happens in 2024. Let's judge Mercedes accordingly in 2024 for all the shit things that they've done and what the shit things they might do. Let's also give them credit if they happen to make a turnaround and make progress happen. And also, let's give the other drivers credit. Let's give the other teams credit. Let's go ahead and spend time in 2024 giving teams like Red Bull credit for being probably one of the most reliable teams in the past 2 seasons for what they have done, which they have been reliable. I think it was a shock when anybody, regardless if you're a Red Bull fan or not, you saw that car. At first, I said Max Verstappen just making fucking excuses because Carlos just pulled a boss move on him. But then eventually it yielded itself that there was a problem with the car. And I knew a lot of people had to be Mercedes as well, excited as well as happy. The fact that we weren't going to hear a Dutch anthem. Thank goodness. No Dutch anthem this race. I know a lot of you all were happy, but shit is happening. And I told you all in quality, are we starting to see the onset of what might be a more competitive top team battle between Red Bull and Ferrari and maybe even McLaren? I can't put Mercedes in the mix. Not legitimately. Why could I? Look at it. Lewis Hamilton went out in Q2. George Russell barely made it off the skin of his damn teeth. The skin of his ass. All right. Then in the race, Lewis Hamilton engine problem is dead. Russell at the end of the race flips the damn car, pitches it anyway. I can't say anything about Mercedes until Mercedes show you something. I told y'all at the beginning of this season, Mercedes is out of store credit. When they show up and ask for a loan, I'm like, what's your collateral? It used to be, I'll front you, bro. Go ahead. I know you good for it. Come on back. No. Now, Mercedes, you got to bring collateral because you ain't bringing shit else to the table. The real data says Red Bull is going to pick up Sainz and drop Perez. Yo. Do you think that Red Bull does that though? Having Liam in the wings, you think they go ahead and pick up somebody outside like Carlos Dane? I mean, that's not a bad, that's not, you know what? That's poll worthy. That right there is poll worthy. I'm polling that. I want to see what everybody thinks. I want to see what everybody thinks. That is a good one, Dana. Let's see what y'all think. Let's see what y'all think, because that is definitely poll ready. That is a damn good one. All right, poll in the chat. Don't dance on it, just vote on it. Let's see, Dana. Let's see what the people think. Let's see what the people think. Mary Beanie says Lewis had a little smirk when Princess Ben did. Hey, you saw that too, Mary Beanie? He was like this. I seen Lewis in the garage. Lewis was like, like, hey. Lewis was like, is this your king? Is that your king, Mercedes? Is that the one that you are now dubbing in? Oh my gosh. I was like, yo, Lewis looking like, that's y'all problem. That's what y'all got to deal with. I'm out of here next season. I'm trying to go do some other shit. But yeah, let's see what they say. 83% said Carlos instead of Lim. And Lim has been passed up plenty of times, but I think he also proved when he got in that car, he can do some pretty good things for Red Bull. So I ain't going to count him out. But yeah, there you go, Dana. I guess you have a good point. People do agree. People do agree. Okay, now let's get to this. All right. Now we're going to get into talking about Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was indeed correct about the whole situation when he ran into problems with the car. First, it just seemed like he was making excuses, but he wasn't. He evidently was more in tune that something wasn't correct. I'm not totally sure at first. Maybe that's what it would. I think Carlos actually pulled a boss move on him, and Max, like he does any other time he falls short, he makes excuses or offers up an excuse to try to powder his situation. But eventually something yielded, whether it was then at that exact moment or later. He then yielded to a situation that was outside of his control and ultimately landed him to be retired for the remainder of the session. This by no means is any indictment going forward of what Max Verstappen might do for the rest of this season. I still think he's likely to win the Drivers' Championship unless something increasingly better happens. And I say increasingly better, not astronomical, not magical, be it not anything that would say it's just, hey, it just might fall out of the sky. If Ferrari gets increasingly better, then this could be something typical, because what we're seeing here right now is Perez is not holding up his end of the bargain as a number 2 driver in what should be the fastest car on the grid. At this point in time, Perez got pushed out by 2 complete teams, both drivers from Ferrari, both drivers from McLaren. Perez got edged out, and he was damn near going to fall by the wayside of another complete team in Alonso and Stroll. Alonso and Stroll right there in the wings, hoping if anything else would happen that they would also be able to capitalize, whether it was Red Bull having a reliability issue, Red Bull having an unforeseen incident on track where a tear-off got into the brake duct, or Red Bull driver Perez just cracking under pressure as he has typically done before, and then them take it. I'm not sure about where Perez can go, and I'm definitely not confident that they're going to keep Perez, and I don't know who they might pick up, but whoever it might be, like, salute and kudos to you on that. Now, we had a very controversial situation that took place earlier in the weekend, okay? Early in the weekend, we had a very controversial situation, and that controversial situation was as it follows right here. We had a situation where Alex Albon wrecked his car in FP1, and Williams, because they did not have a spare chassis, found themselves in a situation where they had to consider, actually they made the decision not to have Logan Sargent continue or participate in the race, and their best opportunity was for Alex Albon to do so. And by doing so, affording them hopefully a better opportunity to collect points, because Alex Albon has done that. Well, Alex Albon unfortunately did not collect any points. Just outside of the gate of 10th, K-Mag takes that position. Alex Albon does not score any points for Williams. I still don't think that was a bad decision, because I think even though it's no points, right? It's no points for 11. Okay, that's cool. But there is still something to be said about where you finish, because if you're not going to be there to collect any points, then you're looking to have a driver that's going to drive the entirety of the race in a competitive fashion and give you information and data that you can then collect, take back to headquarters. Well, that shit's already at headquarters. I mean, all this shit moves fast, but I'm just talking metaphorically. Take it back to headquarters and extrapolate that and say, listen, this is what we need to do to make this better. Because Logan Sargent being in that car still leaves you a question in, did he really drive to the complete limit that we can say any drawback was not at the hands of Logan Sargent? It was more of at the hands of the car. So now we need to work in this, and this will allow them to be better. Logan Sargent doesn't give Williams that opportunity. Logan Sargent hasn't proven that he will give Williams that opportunity. Logan Sargent has proven that he is more of a liability than he is somebody to be reliably accounted upon. Logan Sargent is somebody who's had a second chance in Formula One by the grace of James Vowles and the driver's market. If not for those combination of things, Logan Sargent would not be in that seat. And with those combination of things having to happen for Logan Sargent to be in that seat, it only says that Logan Sargent isn't doing what the hell he needs to do, and he can't do what he should be able to do as an elite Formula One driver to occupy a lower, mid, or high tier seat. This is his last time. If he doesn't do anything that shows Williams and any other team on the grid like Haas, because I don't see him anywhere else, maybe Alpine, maybe, and I do mean maybe, he's not going to be in Formula One. He might as well go join Giovinazzi, team by committee, and hopefully win somewhere in Le Mans. That's what he might do. He might need to go ahead and look at IndyCar. That's what he might need to do. I saw a guy today, because the little one we had a car race, he had a Williams jacket on because it was raining. I said, how you feeling about Logan Sargent? You know what his face looked like? That's what he did. That's exactly what he did first. I said, Team Williams, huh? He said, yeah. I said, how you feeling about Logan Sargent? Exactly. I know, bro. It's okay. It's going to be all right. But yeah, Logan Sargent definitely is, he's not. Hopefully he gets better, but he's not right now. Let's just leave it at that. Hopefully he gets better, but he's not right now. All right, so that team is right there. Let's just go ahead and get into what we need to get into. Mercedes. Walter Shavers, before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead. Walter Shaver says, we know that Red Bull Racing breached the cost cap. Facts. In development, but for Merck to be so bad for 3 years is totally ridiculous. Walter Shaver, bro, you are absolutely, undoubtedly correct. All right? Correct. And while we are doing so, let's join me. Join me in congratulating. Let me see. Let me make sure I put this correctly. Join me in congratulating our next and new VIP member, all right? Salute. He's been a family member for a long time. He's been a supporter of the content and the channel for a long time. I would like to say thank you and congratulations to Walter Ravelli Edits is our new VIP member. Bro, get with me, DM me, hit me in the Discord. This is your VIP box. I'm going to pack it with shirts, goodies, and a hat, because you get a hat, the red label hat. You get the red label hat. You're going to get your gold coin because of your super chat contributions. You're also going to get other little goodies that I put in the pack. Congratulations to Walter. He is our latest and newest VIP member. I salute you. Thank you very much for everything that you do. And everybody else, thank you very much for everything y'all do. Robert Ravelli Edits, congratulations. This is your VIP box. Robert Ravelli Edits. He changed his name from just Ravelli, now it's Robert Ravelli Edits. I call him that. So congratulations on that. But let's go ahead and get to Mercedes. Let's talk about it. No, not Walter. Robert Edits. Not Walter. Walter just did the super chat. That's my bad. It's Robert. It's Robert. But let's talk about Mercedes. Because Walter brings up a very good point. It is absolutely ridiculous right now what Mercedes is doing, how Mercedes is competing. Yuki is so damn short. That's crazy. He's next to Porsche. Yeah, he's so short. But Mercedes is bad right now. Mercedes is bad right now. They are. They are bad right now. This race just made it look that much worse. It looks that much worse right now for them. Okay? Let me tell you right now. Let me explain something to you. Do you not know Mercedes? Matter of fact, hold on. I got to change something. If I have the car, well, I'm about to change something right now. Mercedes is out of there. Mercedes is out of there. McLaren is in. Mercedes is out. That's what we got. Mercedes is no longer in the top 3 constructors, okay? We got Red Bull, Ferrari, and now we got McLaren, Mercedes. If you want to try to put Mercedes on something that's doing good. And let me tell you this. If I had an Aston Martin car, they would still be up here. But Mercedes is fucking 5th. They're 5th. They're not even 4th. Best of the rest for Alpine was getting 4th. Mercedes is 5th. They sucking right now. Jesse James Bell, shame and shade to Mercedes, needs to get their head out their ass. I'll say it for you, brother. I'll say it for you. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll turn the fuck up. I will say it for you. Mercedes need to take their head out their ass. That's what they need to do. Self-made maintenance member for 17 fucking months. OG status. Thank God Sainz not Red Bull ass. Happy to see he's keeping Lewis' seat warm for the GOAT. He is. I'm telling you right now, Lewis Hamilton is at Mercedes and he's saying, licking his chops like, I'm about to have me some creme brulee. Lewis Hamilton sitting back like, oh my goodness, Fred Vazzarda made a beef Wellington. Oh my gosh, they got creme brulee. Oh my goodness, they got non-alcoholic, some of the best red wine. Ooh, I'm about to eat good at Ferrari. I can't wait to leave this damn roadhouse. This fucking roadhouse. This place used to be a 5-star dining establishment. Mercedes used to have all the bells and whistles. Now shit tarnished. The brass ain't been polished. The silver looking dull. The food is coming from the gas station. The plates ain't even crystal. They ain't even porcelain. They paper. Mercedes is getting broke out here. They looking bad out here in these Formula One streets. I'm just calling it like it is. And if Russell's your king, that's a fucked up, faulty, broken ass throne. Just like that. Just calling like it is. Just calling like it is. Just keeping it real. Y'all thought, a lot of these haters out here thought, oh yeah, Wolfpack J. No, I just call the shit like it is when I see, hey, this is what it is. This is what I needed to show me what you're doing. Hey, they in a slump. And don't get me wrong. This is not something that's uncommon. Teams go through slumps. Great players go through slumps. You're not great throughout all your time of competing, especially if you have a long stint of competing. This is not uncommon. It's not unheard of. It's not something where I'm saying, you know what? They absolutely will never come back from this. They could. Look at Ferrari. Ferrari have been messing up for a long time, and it looks like they on the rebound. Williams was damn near in a straight head-on collision fall into the ocean, which I think they fell in the ocean, then somehow float back to the top, and now they got picked up by a crane helicopter and hoisted, and now they kind of gliding. Williams is kind of like on the slow descent trying to stable out, and then eventually, hopefully, kick the damn ailerons and get back up there. But Mercedes right now is in a nosedive. They in a nosedive. And it looks ultimately bad for your number one driver in Lewis Hamilton engine just to cut it the hell out like it did. I mean, it was no gray area. It was on, then it was off. Boom. Cut off the lights. That's what it's like. Boom, we out of here. Russell doing what he do, buffoonery. Doing what he do. All right. He laughing about Lewis Hamilton freezing Roscoe's sperm, but that make money. It make money, Russell. What don't make money is your ass turning the car over, running up the cost cap at the end of a race. At the end of a race. Not even while you really competing. It's the end of the race, and you doing shit like that. Nah. That's not going to work. And once again, there's nothing to say about Haas Oz. They just Oz still. I don't care. They collect the last point and then got ninth and got them another couple of points. I'm not giving them no credit for a damn thing right there until they show me more and do more. But as we see right here, Stroll again leads Alonso. And I'm telling y'all several damn times, what Lawrence Stroll is allowing to happen with his team being, could I use a word so descriptive and impactful as held for ransom or kidnapped? By allowing Lance Stroll to occupy that seat because you his daddy? It should be criminal. At no point in time has Stroll done anything more, but he's got some points. When are we going to see podiums? When are we going to see that? Because right now, Lance is not showing that. And we're seeing it time after time on time sheets, on classification sheets, where he finishes what he does. He wasn't able to do anything when y'all had a very competitive car at the first half of last season and even on the back half. And he's doing something. I'm not going to say he's not doing anything, but he's not as competitive as he should be in perspective to what we have seen from Alonso. We've seen what Alonso did, and Lance couldn't duplicate any of that. When are we going to stop playing around and put Felipe Drugovich in this car so we can see what untapped potential may be lying in your garage race weekend after race weekend after race weekend after race weekend? You don't even bother to put the brother in the car for a free practice session so he's eligible to drive in a damn race. You just willing to let your team suffer, all due because of your relationship, and you want to be able to put your son in the Formula car. But guess what? He's not that guy. And if you want to do better as a team, and you're about to be a works team, so now people are about to really measure you up. People are really about to say, you know what? You got all the stuff. You got all new ingredients. You got your own kitchen. You got your own, you got your own damn pressure cooker. You got your own noodle maker. You got everything, pasta machine. You ought to be able to make something pretty good. So they're going to start holding you feet to the fire a bit more when you become a works team. And if you're going to allow your son and dad relationship to handicap that team, I wish there were criminal charges for that. That's what I could say. I wish there was criminal charges for that, because that's what you're doing. That's exactly what the hell you're doing. So I will say that Danny Rick, you gone. I was a little bit concerned if at the end of that, Carlos was gonna have some issues that wouldn't let him finish the race. Oh my gosh, it's so horrible to look at. Carlos was not gonna be able to finish the race, but he did. So congratulations to him. You all see new VIP member Robert Ravelli edits is what I call him. But we're gonna see what happens. This looks bad because it is bad. Mercedes is doing bad right now. And they might have done themselves a worse disservice by not listening a long time ago, not listening last season, not retaining your number one driver in Lewis Hamilton. Maybe you got some other plans, and we'll see what those plans are. By the way, kudos to Lewis Hamilton parking the car in a situation where it can be removed easily, instead of like Red Bull did, tell Yuki to go out of pit lane and then park the shit on the damn track so we could disturb the race. Lewis Hamilton doing a phenomenal job to try to put the car somewhere where it doesn't disturb the race, doesn't keep anybody from being as great as they can be. So shout out to him. That's what most drivers should do. Well, Red Bull just doesn't do it. But anyway, we will see what happens going forward. This is another race weekend. Congratulations. You didn't have to listen to the Dutch anthem. Congratulations to Carlos for collecting that race win as he's gotten a race win last season. He got a race win now early this season. How many more race wins will Carlos have before we reach the end of the season? And maybe how many race wins will Charles have in comparison to Carlos, since he's the future of Ferrari and he's going to be staying? It might be a little bit egregious and bad if Charles doesn't get any race wins, but he does get podiums. That's cool. But we got another driver getting race wins, and he ain't the guy we keeping around. He's not the guy we talking about. That's our future. He's not the guy we're trying to pair with the GOAT so you can learn a bit more and make this team a bit stronger. And maybe we just fucked up. Maybe we just made a bad decision. But you're in it now. You're in it now. You're so deep in. If you backtrack out of that, backlash will be horrible from the public. But if that's what it takes for you to be a better team, you might want to consider it. I'm just saying you might want to just consider it a tad bit. Cornbread! Sir Lewis Hamilton looks smarter than he entire Merc tech right now. Yeah, didn't they tell Lewis, this ain't your job? Yeah, you might not be smart enough to tell us how a car might need to be built. Maybe he was, because you don't look like you smart enough to build a good car. If the third time's the charm, you done fucked up. Third time ain't been no charm for you. It's getting worse and worse and more worser. And that ain't even how you supposed to do it. More worser, more worser. Okay? Not more power. Not like more power. It's getting more worse. So maybe Lewis Hamilton do know a little bit of something. Right now he doing radio. He look like it too. Lewis radio. Lewis's interviews in his press be funny as shit. You just see it in his face. Bro be trying to, I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to do him like that. I'm a good dude, and that's not the type of energy I need to put out. So let me just look funny. Lewis just look funny like, yeah, it was good. That's the type of shit Lewis Hamilton do. He'd be like, yeah, we're decent. We're trying to put it all together. Working as a team. That's the type of shit he do. But anyway, big shout out to y'all. It's about to be 2:15 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I have literally been at a race, got fuel in my damn eye. Big shout out to my little one. Had a bump in the track, got dipped down into ninth, came back and managed to finish fourth, almost grabbing that last step. I'm completely proud of it. It's our first time out in the new chassis. Also our first race of the season for her. Hey, she did a good job. I'm happy for her coming back from ninth to climb up to fourth. Excellent. We're going to work on everything, dial her more in, get more track time in. She should do better. So we will see what happens with that. Also, don't forget later today, we will have Wolves Den. Join us where we're going to have a private meeting. All Wolfpack members come in there, share your feelings, share your thoughts, share what you thought about the race, share what you thought about free practice and qualifying, share what you think about the future of Formula One is going to happen as we get deeper into this season, all of that good stuff. You need to get into the chat with us and tap in with us so you can talk about all these good things. You do see the counter right here. This is the Mercedes race win counter. It is a big donut. Matter of fact, I might go get me a donut to go along with this big O, this big zero, not a O, zero. It's a numeric value. And the numeric value for Mercedes race wins is zilch, nada, nothing, no bueno. It is zero. It is no hero. That's what they got kicking over there. So with that being said, I am about to go ahead, set up the Wolves Den later for us going into the Discord and meeting. Also, get with me, Robert Ravelli, edit so I can send your box out. And then OG Zilla, congratulations for winning the coffee mug. And also, kickback quality trivia. But what he has done is he has put it on a wheel spin. So what that will also go to a wheel spin prize. I will take a bunch of super chats that have been collected. I will take OG Zilla out of there since he has donated that. His race wins, y'all. He donated his kickback quality race wins. So clap him up when you see him. And that will go also to a wheel spin. I got my note right here so I don't forget. But the next wheel spin is going to be for this product that you see right here. All right. It's going to be for this product that you see right here. And what that is going to be the Lewis Hamilton LH Hamilton 44 flag. This is the next thing up for the Super Chat raffle. So all Super Chats that started from the Australian race weekend up until when I close it off, which might be another 2 or 3 races, all those names and Super Chats that contributed will go into the wheel. I will spin the wheel, and whoever name it, when it lands on, you will receive that. You will get with me, send me your address, your email address, also for tracking, and I'm going to send you out that prize. We will have several prizes throughout the rest of this season and this year for Super Chat people to get saluted for that, as well as VIP boxes when people earn them. So big shout out to you all. I am done here. I'm about to go ahead and close it down. Danny Rick is doing a press conference probably on him retiring again. This is Wolfpack J. I'm out. Peace.